Hello, my name is Zach Leitman. I am the author of the book World of Wounds. It is a novel that I've self-published through Create Space with an imprint I've created myself called New Myths Press. Don't know if you can see it there, but the logo is also in photograph form on the inside cover, and a sketch I did myself of the logo in large form. Intentionally left in sketch form, but I still think it looks pretty good on the very last page, which you can see, if you can see, is 400. So it is a 400 page, just by coincidence. It's a full published form novel, which I'm very proud of and have been writing for just under 2 years, and have been really kind of bringing it to birth along with other efforts, along with raising my own three children. It is a novel that was really born of my own interests and concerns. First of all, I am a trained writer, a screenwriter, English major. This is my first full-length novel, first published novel, and but really it's been motivated by my concerns for what I would describe as for a future with human pollution, global warming, climate change, these sorts of issues. I have reasons to be concerned about it, and yet I had kind of over time come to a conclusion that using my background and skills in storytelling might be a nice way to engage people, because I think it can be really overwhelming to actually engage with some of these issues aside from oh, I don't know, thinking that just signing petitions or something like that isn't enough. So I found myself telling the story of five different characters who are coming from entirely different geographical places, all in the United States. Well, actually, one of them starts in Mexico, but most of the story takes place in all different places in the United States. A lot of the characters go on literal physical journeys. One of them goes through addiction, which is a theme I intentionally worked into the story, because I think addiction and kind of addictiveness has a lot to do with our culture and some of the things it's done to the planet, or is fast doing more. In fact, the title, World of Wounds, can seem, I don't know, negative or morbid, but it actually comes from a quote that I find really inspiring by Aldo Leopold from his really great book I recommend, A Sand County Almanac. He was a naturalist and ecologist. A Sand County Almanac is kind of a book of his about ecology in his region. So the quote is, "One of the penalties of an ecological education is that one lives alone in a world of wounds. Much of the damage inflicted on land is quite invisible to laymen. An ecologist must either harden his shell and make believe that the consequences of science are none of his business, or he must be the doctor who sees the marks of death in a community that believes itself well and does not want to be told otherwise." Aldo Leopold. Now, I don't claim to be a scientist, but I have paid enough attention to people who I think are very aware, very smart, very aware, kind of top of their form people. Not the most James Hansen from NASA, but he's a good example of someone who is very, very versed. And anyway, in doing my own research, I know we all need to come to our own conclusions. But again, that's one of the reasons I felt that what I could offer is story, because I've been trained in it and because I love good books, good stories, good movies. But in this case, I felt a novel was going to do what I wanted to communicate. So my IndieGogo campaign is to support me in, since I have self-published this novel, I don't have a publisher with huge amounts of money to publicize it. Publicizing it, in my view, though I will get some royalties, is really a matter of getting as many people as possible who might be interested in this sort of subject, who might be interested in these sorts of stories. And I'll remind you that, I wrote these stories. I had a great time getting to know these characters and these journeys that these characters go on. I think, and I wrote it to be stories that would be great for people to read, regardless of where they stand and what their opinion are on these sorts of issues, and yet to be an empowering story for people who feel like they don't know what to do, what kind of actions to take. And I don't think I have all the answers, I wrote this story with that question in mind, and then just really had fun getting to know the characters in the story. So I hope you love it. I encourage people to buy the novel. It's not that expensive. It can be found on Amazon.com. Look up Zach Layton and World of Wounds. There's a link to CreateSpace where you can purchase it on the Indiegogo page, and any small, even small contribution or large that you make to the Indiegogo campaign will help get this novel out in the world. Thank you very much.